Beautiful Pembrey Country Park right down on the beach. The start for stage 5 of the women's tour, 106.6 kilometres. You can see your yellow jersey, your green jersey, your pink jersey and your red jersey on the start. We're here in Carmarthenshire and it's the Welsh flag that waves the riders away. And today, Hannah, a tough stage ahead. The mountaintop finish at the Black Mountain, 2,052 metres of climbing. Yeah, the Queen stage of this year's women's tour, and we've said before that this is the hardest edition yet since the race began back in 2014. And as the riders tackle more undulating terrain today, they will finish atop of a summit finish, the Black Mountain and Mynyddig. Majerus there on the inside. Here comes Chabet through the centre. She'll come up towards the wheel of her teammates, Tiff Cromwell. You can see one of the most aerodynamic riders in the peloton as well. That familiar style of the Canyon SRAM rider now has her teammate on the wheel. And the gap, though, that attack there by Chabet has just helped close that second group back up to the front. So they make contact just as they'll start the sprint for the Queen of the Mountains points. Majerus goes, Chabet is right on the wheel. These two have been battling it out for Queen of the Mountains points since day one, and it looks like the first points here are going to go to Christine Majerus over Elise Chabet, but importantly for the Skoda Queen of the Mountains leader, getting those 9 points in second place. Yeah, and only losing to 1 point. That gap deficit now at 13 points to Christine Majerus, so she still has the work to do. And there's confirmation of the Skoda Queen of the Mountains at Pontiac's Hill, the categorised 1 climb. Our second place, Kasia Niewiadoma takes 5. British champion Pfeiffer Georgie takes 2. Joss Loudon now going on the attack, the British rider from the Uno X team. Loudon going early in the stage here. Fabulous time trialist is Joss Loudon. I think this camera angle really does this Krubin climb justice. Joss Loudon, though, can see the summit of Krubin and category 1 climb for the Uno X rider, so she's going to take maximum points at the top, but with such a commanding lead of Elise Chabet in the Queen of the Mountains competition. Joss Loudon, her focus is on trying to get away and stay away to the Black Mountain and try and take the stage, but she takes 10 maximum points over that. Will then, as she goes over the category at the top here, turn our attention to the group behind. Chabet shifts up through the gears. You can see the cadence change of Chabet, but importantly there, Hannah puts 2 riders between herself and Christine Majerus there in 4th. Great teamwork from Michaela Hervey there to try and put another rider between Chabet and Majerus just to take 1 extra point away from her. As we headed towards the first intermediate sprint of the day, and it was Joss Loudon who was still clear, taking maximum bonus points and bonus seconds. As we headed to his sprint 2, it was all back together. Micah van der Down's second place gave her the Pillar Sprints jersey. She now only has to finish the final stage. 7 kilometres to the finish. The Black Mountain is just rearing up ahead of the riders. Hannah, not the first time we've been over this climb, though. Yeah, 3 years ago, the race visited this part of the world, and the riders had to climb the Black Mountain on Mynyddig. But it was in the middle of the stage last time at the halfway point before we had that run into Pembrey Country Park, which is where we started this morning. Ellen Van Dijk, Elisa Longo-Borghini, Alex Manley. Then you've got Kristen Faulkner of Team Bike Exchange, Kasia Niewiadoma and Elise Chabet of Canyon SRAM. That looks like Sofia Bertitolo, and climbing out of her skin. Now Longo-Borghini goes. Longo-Borghini launches her first move here. Alex Manley right on her. Kristen Faulkner, though, closing the gap down there to Alex Manley. We're through the Flamme Rouge with 1 kilometre to go as Rihanna Marcus now of Jumbo-Visma takes up the pace on the front. Veronica Ewers latches right in on the wheel, then Longo-Borghini. Grace Brown, no, she's not got to be far away. Don't forget 10, 6 and 4 seconds as we run up towards the line. And I think the wind and the severity of the grade is just preventing as well anyone from managing to get clear as Niewiadoma. Is she lining up now for a move?
Ever so slightly, the riders will feel a tailwind here, and Nui Adoma, she's just starting to look laboured from those efforts. How much has that put paid to her efforts? The stress factor of having that mechanical. She goes on the left-hand side. It's Mulman Passio again, who wants to try something, but the Italian champion straight onto the move of the rider from SD Works.
This is what Ashley Mulman Passio does best, repeated efforts. Pure climber is Mulman Passio. So from the front of your group, Ashley Mulman Passio, Longa Borghini, Kasia Nuviadoma now moves up. Kristen Faulkner, Grace Brown, Kasia Nuviadoma now launches her move. Brown in that yellow jersey goes wide though. Faulkner manages to latch on there. Elisa Longa Borghini just trying to dictate that position. Now Kristen Faulkner makes the move for Team Bike Exchange. Longa Borghini out of the saddle. We're inside 500 meters to go. Look at the effort on the face now of the yellow jersey as she tries to defend this yellow jersey. Remember, 1 day to go.
The gap starting to open up now between Faulkner and Grace Brown, and Elisa Longa Borghini senses that danger. She comes around, she closes that gap, and Nuviadoma, she's trying to get on top of that gate. Manley, though, in the back there, who is sitting up there in the general classification for Bike Exchange. Jaco still there.
So it's going to be a lead out here from Kristen Faulkner. Alex Manley just moving up. Great finish she has. But what can she do at the top here of the Black Mountain? Grace Brown has got the two riders who she closest to her in the general classification right in sight.
Manley has a good turn of speed as they go through 200 meters to go. It's Longa Borghini who starts to open things up, followed by Nuviadoma. Kristen Faulkner still there.
Here goes Longa Borghini, Nuviadoma. Grace Brown just trying to find her way through the two Bike Exchange riders. Longa Borghini and Nuviadoma now kicking on towards the top. Brown's got to be careful. Remember those bonus seconds on the line. It looks like the stage is going to go to Elisa Longa Borghini. Kasia Nuviadoma digs deep, but Longa Borghini takes it for Trek Segafredo ahead of Kasia Nuviadoma and Grace Brown. That acceleration to just close that gap on the line. So a great move there on the finish, but it's a first Women's Tour stage victory for Elisa Longa Borghini. There's your next groups coming home. The Black Mountain delivers. There's your Skoda Queen of the Mountains jersey of Elise Chabet just crossing the line, but a great stage victory for the Italian.
Looked like a top 10 placing for Becky Story as well of Cam's Basso. Incredible performance. And this is the moment where things start to open up. Elisa Longa Borghini goes on the left-hand side with that acceleration with around 150 meters to go. Immediately, Kasia Nuviadoma of Canyon SRAM tracks her move, and Grace Brown, the rider in the yellow jersey, just gets trapped on the left-hand side of Faulkner, unable to find her way through. And there's a bike link, two bike links there that start to open up, and they are the dangerous seconds. And that last-minute acceleration from Brown really does save her to take third place on the stage and the 4 bonus seconds.
So it's the first Women's Tour stage victory for Elisa Longa Borghini of Trek Segafredo ahead of Kasia Nuviadoma and Grace Brown. But an outstanding ride by Becky Story of Cam's Basso, World Tour company in 9th. On to the podium, the Italian champions jersey at the top of the Black Mountain. Elisa Longa Borghini takes the stage victory. Joss Loudon takes the Aegean Combativity Award. Micah van der Down secure in that red Pilar Sprints jersey. All she has to do is finish stage 6. And the same applies to Elise Chabet of Canyon SRAM in the Skoda Queen of the Mountains. Still in the yellow jersey at the top of the Black Mountain, Grace Brown of FDJ Nouvelle Aquitaine Futuroscope. The closest winning margin was 2 seconds in 2019 going into the final stage. Grace Brown and Elisa Longa Borghini level on time, but Kasia Nuviadoma is still not out of the fight at 2 seconds.